And now, Deep Thoughts with Blossoming Sun and Jess Plan.
What's a Buddhist's favorite band? Nirvana.
Oh, beach.
Nice.
I do like Nirvana. I just said I like Nirvana, and then immediately in my brain, Seven Nation Army was playing, so I was like, nope, Blossoming Sun,
Nirvana.
you don't know anything in life. It's fine. Hi.
It smells like Teen Spirit. That's what you're looking at.
My name is Blossoming Sun. Please, everyone, introduce themselves.
Well, I'm sorry. I thought I interrupted you while you were doing your substitute teacher thing.
Continue.
You done messed up, Aaron. All right, I am just playing.
Introduce our.
You got this.
B.Leaguer. What? Can we ask?
Also, my good friend.
Can we?
We're terrible at introducing ourselves.
No, it's
apparently.
We are. I'm real bad.
Have you not listened to the rest of this podcast? Have you not realized?
Nothing. We don't have our shit together. I did think it was funny at one point when I was in a class once. There was an About Me project, and a guy got a D on it. Like he failed knowing himself, and I became that guy. Like over time.
Wait, is this a real thing that actually happened?
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
He was real sad.
Wow.
Which made me sad.
I'm also
but
sad.
It was also kind of funny. I was like, let's be real honest, bro. That's kind of funny. Like, you gave them your autobiography, and they were like, nah, you're gonna have to do better.
So, B, how did you come up with the name B.Leaguer? Can I ask you that, or is it a secret? Will you have to kill me?
No, it's definitely not. Okay. It's not very exciting either. But at one point, I was doing a lot of flying. I was flying like about every 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And one time, I got a boarding pass that had kind of like bastardized my actual name into something that kind of looked kind of like B.Leaguer, and it just like clicked in. I was like, "That's it."
That's
me. That was about 8 years ago.
Real cool. I like that.
And I identify most strongly with the bastardized version of myself. All right.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Always.
It's like, what are you, Jon Snow? Like, I just...
Oh my God, you do look like Jon Snow, in my personal opinion. Way cooler than Jon Snow.
From my little sketch image here.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. So today, what are we talking about, Jess?
Okay, well, that works.
We're talking about mindfulness. Something that I am terrible at.
So, wait. Is that why you chose this? Are we just here to teach you? Are you just trying to get a college course for free?
Yeah, I'm trying to get free education. Do you understand how much college debt I have already?
I actually don't even want to think about it.
Add that to that number. You don't want to think about my college debt. That's how bad it is.
Don't like to
I'd
think
prefer to not think about your
debt.
college debt. I don't think any of us do. And that's where mindfulness comes in.
No.
So I have no idea why Jess chose you, B, to be here on the episode about mindfulness.
A lot of choices, all right.
I am really just a total scrub about mindfulness. I've just started to really get into it.
You were just so fascinated by it, and I was like, I'm also fascinated by it. I feel like it's a topic that we could discuss.
So Jess, what do you think mindfulness is? What do you think it is?
I think it's being able to ground yourself in the moment. So I'm currently reading a thing called When Things Fall Apart by Pema Chodron. I just probably butchered that name.
I believe
But essentially the fact that like fear is a natural reaction to moving closer to your inner truths, but how to like stand within chaos and become part of it essentially. You know, instead of fighting against the river, flowing with it, that kind of shit.
The laws of entropy. Yeah.
That sounds on message.
Yeah, so I find that stuff kind of fascinating and how to deal with the day-to-day.
So B, without sounding as hoity-toity as Jess did just now, what do you think mindfulness?
All right. I came here to have a good time and be mindful, and I'm feeling real attacked. So
Well, so my idea about it is not real well rounded, and it's probably just my own interpretation. And it's, I've only gotten a little hunk of mindfulness really from mostly from one book. And that is a screensaver turning on. Sorry.
That's okay.
So
it's becoming mindful.
Professional. I'm good here. Yeah, exactly. So, I guess it's just really to identify the part of your brain that is always saying that things are a way, or they're supposed to be some other way than what they are. And, that there's some part of your brain that's constantly labeling things and judging things as either positive or negative. And, so the first step is to kind of stop that,
Right.
But it's real hard.
Yeah. So I've always thought of mindfulness just being aware of yourself and your thoughts while you're going through day-to-day things, and just making sure that you're what Jess said earlier, living your truth, just making sure that you're really acting and reacting how you think you're most yourself. Does that make sense? Being your most genuine self.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just practicing mindfulness is making sure, is this in line with my ethics and my morals? Is this how I want to be perceived by people? To make sure, everything that I'm saying is really what I mean. And along with that, it's also making sure you can be alone with your thoughts and really be introspective and aware of your ideals and bring them to awareness as well with your body. I think mindfulness is a physical thing and a mental thing.
I can never be alone with my thoughts. There's so many of them, they just gang up on me.
And practicing mindfulness can help you sift through those things. Jessica.
How did you say that? I feel like you coming at me with a fire today. No. You're sifting through that. I feel like you were sassy fingering me the whole time.
Wagging my finger.
Wow.
No, but I
do just realize.
Well, in the angle of. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say,
you're the guest.
The angle of mindfulness that I'm coming from is that's too much power. If you're just clearing the floor for me at all times, it's a problem.
Full rendition of being my guest.
So sifting through thoughts is good, but really, I think if you get to the deep mindfulness, you're just kind of bypassing the thoughts, right?
Yeah.
You're getting to this point of just sitting in the moment and not really thinking much of anything about anything. And that is such a foreign concept for us, I think, as Western, culture people.
Yeah. For me, I always have to be, if I'm watching TV or doing something like that, I always have to be doing something else. It's I can't just sit there and watch TV. I have to be sitting there and working on something, or maybe doing some stretches, or going through some yoga and whatever. It's I'm always busy. But doing yoga and setting time aside, you're absolutely right, B. It's there's this moment where I go through my thoughts that I've been, rushing throughout the day, and then I acknowledge them, and I'm I know you're there, but this is just time for blossoming sun and no one else. So goodbye. Yeah. And I sit there and I'm all right, we're going to breathe real deep. And then with our exhale, we're going to not give a shit about anything. And it's just going to all go away.
Amen.
But that's definitely how I practice mindfulness, is definitely with yoga, and just making sure I'm bringing awareness to what I'm working on my body at that moment, making sure my poses are comfortable and not really just being aware of my body and not really dwelling on anything mentally.
Yeah. It sounds perfect. Like you kind of go towards, I think it came out in 2015, but it was called the Fuck That meditation, or an honest meditation. It was on YouTube for a while, but it was breathe in, and then with your exhale.
Yeah.
My favorite GIF on Giphy.com is the one where it's Anakin and Obi-Wan are there, And Obi-Wan's
Yeah.
like, look, Anakin, look at all the fucks I give.
Oh, the fuck's like it?
Look at this and see it as barren. And I'm like, yes, Obi-Wan. You do have the high ground.
I like the one where it's like the medieval tapestry, and it's like, look on thine field.
Yeah.
It's barren.
But yeah,
That makes me
definitely.
happy.
It's like I want to acknowledge my thoughts and then just let them go for a little while and just be mindful and purposeful with like what I'm trying to do and achieve. I don't think that I would be comfortable trying to be, quote unquote, be present in my whole life, mostly because I like to kind of multitask. And so while I'm working on something physically, I may also be working on something separately mentally, just figuring shit out for the day while I'm,
Yeah.
making coffee. But what do you
And I think
do,
it's
B?
just so. Well, I was just going to say, as we've been getting into this, the thing for me is like a lot of people, like I've been trying to get with mindfulness for literally like 20 years.
Oh my God.
And one of the pitfalls that I kept hitting is I kept thinking that it had to start with literal meditation. I mean, you got mindfulness meditation. It's just you sit down in a chair for as long as you can stand it, 15 minutes, 30 minutes longer. There are apps that facilitate this for where you just sit and breathe. You're just sitting, you're breathing, and you're just doing everything you can not to think about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, like that isn't at all how I have actually attached to mindfulness. Like for me, it's been more about the philosophy of my mind and how I perceive the world and how I interact with the world. I don't sit down to do it. I just, when somebody's driving too slow in front of me, I just take my, I just take my foot off the anguish, gas pedal. I'm just like, it is what it is.
There you go.
And that's the essence of mindfulness for me.
So you find it in like
Yeah.
the little moments. That's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
That's pretty cool. Jess,
But it's really nice when you can reduce that stress.
yeah.
And kind of like when you're sitting in a chair, when you're meditating, deep meditating, you're supposed to basically, the thoughts will come, and then you're supposed to just be like thinking and then let them go.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that. You're sitting there,
Yes.
you're frustrated, and you just say like, okay, I'm frustrated, and then you just let it go.
I do
So
think
it's acknowledging
Yeah.
and moving past.
a great thing for people to do prior to falling asleep, especially if they like struggle with doing things like racing thoughts when they lay in bed and whatnot, and they're just like, oh my gosh, I have so many things that I'm thinking about. I do think that mindful meditation and using like an app on your phone, like Headspace or Calm, those are two really great apps. But if you use that right when you go to bed and like have that moment to yourself, I do feel like it slows down your thoughts a lot and allows you to fall asleep much easier. But that's me, personal experience for me. I don't know that it works for everyone.
I wanted to say, the thing that actually really got me into mindfulness was actually the audiobook version of The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And I like this guy is like my mindfulness touchstone. And like, I know most people like know him as the guy, like basically Oprah's lapdog. Like he's been on the show like, numerous times.
I've never
like,
watched Oprah.
Like that's all that some people think about him.
So wait, what is the power of
but,
now?
I mean, the book is brilliant. So it's just it's basically, what he's done is just kind of give his own spin on, I think, like just classic Zen Buddhism, but just making it really accessible, to people in, the current times.
Yeah, making it more relatable.
And anyway, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I mean, like the guy is just, he's so chill too. Like that was why I was saying like the audiobook version of that book where he starts to talk you through, the process of detaching from your ego and just, I mean, it's very chill and it actually, I actually use it to go to sleep sometimes.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's like my mindfulness coaching, it's weird, but yeah, it works. The guy is so chill.
That's really cool. That's really, really cool.
That's actually pretty cool.
Jess, have you ever tried to practice mindfulness?
Yeah, like I try to practice it a lot.
You do?
But I'm not very good at it. Like, it's
I
one
don't
of those
think
things. I
anyone
felt
is
the
good
same
at
thing
it.
where I had to do meditation. I had to do deep meditation. I started off with that, couldn't do it. And then recently I've been reading a lot about just general Buddhism. So I've been reading a bunch of
Yeah.
books on it. I just find those extremely helpful. And then The Happiness Project by Gretchen Rubin. I was reading that. A lot
What
of
is
self-help
that?
books, just putting that out there. She took a year where she basically figured out what she wanted to improve on in her life
Yeah.
and then tried to be more present in the moment and do those things. So every single month she would have a goal. So like January was basically, be more mindful of my situation, try to get more energy, try to sleep better, that kind of stuff. And then February she would have a new goal and she would add that to January's. So by the end of the year she could have all of these things that she's
Bitch.
accomplished.
Okay, not to like derail our conversation, but I've been doing that exact thing with my passion planner from passionplanner.com. In my passion planner, there is actually like these little pages that are called game changers at the beginning of each month. And that's literally you choose. So at the very beginning of the planner, they're like, hey, where do you see yourself in 3 months? Where do you see yourself? Like, what would you like to achieve in the next 3 months? What would you like to achieve in the next 6 months, the next year, the next 3 years, the next, over your lifetime? What are some of the biggest achievements? And so you make like this little mind map, sort of, and then you choose the one that's closest to you, right? So like the 3-month mark. And they tell you what's the one that's going to give you the most positive impact in your life. Choose that one. And then take that one and put it on the next page and write down as many of the most specific things that you can do, all the acts and all the things that you can do, all the habits you can create. You don't have to accomplish all of them, but put down the ones that will most likely help you achieve this goal. And from there, you have a spot on each week and each day even for you to focus on something. And it's like, there's even a little, oh my God, there's like these little helpful things on the sides of the weeks. Let me just read one, okay? This one says, to overcome difficulties is to experience the full...
You are very passionate about
I'm very passionate about my planner, okay? That's why I bought it. It's also for millennials, and I feel included. Okay, so... To overcome difficulties is to experience the full delight of existence. And that's by Arthur Schopenhauer. Or Schopenhauer.
Oh yeah, Schopenhauer.
Schopenhauer.
My dude. Sorry, I just sounded like we would go out to the bar.
Arthur, my dude. We catching them brewskis and talking philosophy today, bro.
We're pretty close, so I get to call him Shope.
Shope dog.
You don't call him Schopenhauer, you call him Schopenhauser. Hey, beer joke. I made a beer joke. I have no regrets. It just says below that.
You should have said at the end of it, like, IPA.
It says, whenever you're feeling down this week, remind yourself that every obstacle you face in life will change you and help you grow. So there's just like these little uplifting moments in here, and it's just real fucking nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that's nice. At the same time, I'm like, in a planner, all I would think about is just the obstacles. I gotta lie. That's why I'm doing mindfulness. It's like focusing on the more positive aspect of that sentence. Then
I wanted to provide a little. I wanted to provide a little counterpoint too. Like basically, just it's like it's awesome. And I've never done a planner, so I'm the worst person to talk about this. But basically, like if you're organized, that's amazing. And if you're planning and you're setting goals and like steps toward goals, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. But I think the only thing, that like rubs against something like mindfulness is, can you remain the person that still gets joy out of every one of those little steps and isn't just constantly focused on the goal? And if you blow past, one of the steps, like if you didn't do one of the steps on a day or a week that you need, are you going to beat yourself up for it, endlessly? That's where you gotta watch yourself as far as the mindful track.
Yeah,
exactly. Because that's part of the reason I wanted to do it, because last year I got extremely anxious. I'm always pretty anxious, but it was one of those things. I was goal oriented. Like, I'm a goal oriented person. Like, I want to get shit done, but then I tend to plan. No way to really like stay in the now while also constantly planning and trying to achieve those goals. And then when I don't achieve those goals, I'm like, shit.
So
That's the
I'll
problem.
tell you guys something that helps me. And this is probably just because I have always been this way, but I've always looked at things with a very big picture mindset. And that's why, like, when I don't achieve something, it doesn't really get me down. And so, for instance, I will sit there and maybe I don't achieve a goal that day that I really want to, like, maybe I don't get to work out because my whole day was full. Or maybe I don't get like this art residency opportunity or something random. But then I'll sit
Right.
in my house that I own and it's like, I'm doing pretty good. Like, I'm not starving. I have a home. I have a family that loves me. Everything is pretty great. I really don't have anything to complain
Yes.
about. It's like
Like,
I don't live in Africa. I don't have to like suffer under a fascist regime just yet. I'm doing pretty good.
That's actually, it's one of those things
Yeah.
where Shatoken's constantly having to remind me of that because I'm not a big picture person. I'm more of like, I'm a big picture long run.
Oh, you
but
real
short
anxious.
term.
Oh,
It's like,
you're like one of those detail-oriented people that's real
Yeah.
anxious. I've met one other person like that, and I thought she was a crazy person.
she's talking about me.
No. One time, no.
It's like, I
Dag.
met one other person who was.
No, I honestly think like you're even actually more relaxed than her. She was like this, okay, so like I met her and she was like, I just bought a house, but really in actuality, I bought like 3,000 boards of wood that created the frame of my home and 20,000 nails. And I own all of these things. And I'm like, bitch, it's just a house. Like, it's just a house. Like, calm down. It's great that you have a shelter now, which you are the owner of, but you don't have to think of it in small details like that. So it just
Yeah.
creates more anxiety. So I think training, not really training yourself, but reframing things in a bigger picture mindset definitely will help you, you know, overcome like the little anxieties of, oh no, I didn't
Yeah.
get this done today. Because it's always like, honestly, if it's not a fucking emergency, is it really that big of a deal if I didn't get it done today? Is it? Is it gonna like ruin the end of the world?
I nearly said yes.
No!
Like, I had to stop myself. I had to be like, because I almost just went, yeah. Like, like legit. My entire body was just like, yeah. Like,
No,
really?
no.
Yeah.
Like, I'm calling up 911, like, I didn't get the laundry done again today. And they're like, please stop calling, ma'am. Please.
Well, one thing I was going to say is, you know, it's with mindfulness, it's like, if you just kept telling yourself like 3 times a minute that you have to just stay focused on the present moment, like you would get so tired of that shit. You would just be like,
Yeah.
and that's where people just like get off that train. But
Yeah.
like, you know, you said bigger picture, and if you kind of flip it around to a different interpretation, it's the small picture of your time,
Yeah.
in terms of your just being really focused on just right now. And it seems so easy, but it's
really
the
hard.
hardest thing. It's the hardest thing I've ever
Yeah.
done. I don't hold on to it, you know.
Yeah.
It's just so difficult to constantly, like, remind yourself to stay present.
Yeah, I feel like there's
But-
certain parts of the day where I want to be more present. Like, I really try to make sure now when I want to be present with people, I will consciously put my phone away. If I really
Yeah.
just want to spend time with people, and I'll be like, all right, no phone time. We're not looking at Twitter. And I just have to do certain things. Like, there's certain actions that I just have to take to ensure my mindfulness, because otherwise, your girl is real easily distracted. Real easily distracted. I will look at Twitter and I'll look down and look up, and it's been 3 hours. And I'll be like, what the fuck are we doing now? Everyone has eaten.
Yeah.
So,
It is one of those things, like, I have
So
to,
true.
I noticed the more I was on my phone and stuff, the less present I was.
Yeah.
And there are certain things that's like, particularly when you're spending time with people, that shit doesn't come around like all the time.
Yeah.
In fact, like we were talking about Afterlife before we started, because I binged watched Ricky Gervais's new show.
It was like 3 hours, right? It's like
Action in
3
there.
hours total. Yeah.
The 6-episode series, each episode's like a half hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's brilliant. But there's one thing where, you know, you never know when the last time you're going to hug your friend is, or when the last time you're going to do this thing, or so you've got to appreciate each moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of times these days people don't do that. Like I've been doing stuff with people recently and I turn around to like share a moment with them and they're just not
On their
there
phone.
at all.
You know what I started doing? I started literally, if I start a sentence and the person looks away, I will literally go silent and stare at them and pretend that I am like a creature from a horror movie. And I will literally just sit there until they put their full attention back on me. And then I'll be like, thank you. Now that I have your attention. And it's just like, so you just creep people out to the point that they're forced to watch you because they're scared you might stab them. That's all you got to do. There you go. Life hack.
I thought it was going to be like, oh, like you just creep them out until no one wants to hang out with you anymore. And then you're not ignored because you're just alone.
Jess, you put up with me for a real long time. Even when I'm sassy with you, are you going to actually leave me one day? No. If I'm real creepy with you one day, you still going to be my friend. I got you.
Yeah, no.
She's like, I have
like
her for life.
until like early heart disease from eating too much Taco Bell. I think you're pretty much stuck with me. Like,
Oh my God. Please don't die from heart disease. Earlier, oh my God, earlier Jess and I were talking and I don't remember what I said. Oh, I was coughing and I was like I was coughing really heavily and she's like, please don't die. And I just started laughing.
I would miss you. Like, and then she started laughing and I was like legit.
I sat there and I was like,
died.
what if I did die right now? And the last thing I heard
I would
was
feel
Jess
real
telling
bad.
me, please don't die. And then I failed her. I failed her at the one thing that I could never take back.
And then, great. Now I'm gonna be worried about telling people not to die now because I'm gonna be like, don't shame them.
Don't make me bring that luggage with myself into the afterlife. Immediately I go into heaven and they're like, hey, how are you? I was like, my friend just fucking told me not to die. Can you believe that shit? I'm gonna spread some vicious rumors about you in heaven, just playing.
Oh,
I'm just
not
kidding.
going
I'm
to
just
heaven.
kidding.
It's fine. It's fine. You can say whatever you want about me up there. It's one of those things where it's what if you ended up in purgatory? What if you ended up in purgatory because I asked you not to die, and then that was the thing that you had to do? Like, you know, you
To
hear
not
those ghosts
die.
that, like, have one thing that they have to finish for someone or they have to do, and you're just like wandering around like, well,
I thought
shit.
this was purgatory.
You know what I would do? I would literally
That's
just
true.
haunt
It
your
sometimes feels
computer.
like that.
I'd just haunt your
Or
computer.
wait, do you mean this podcast? I thought you meant like life for a second, and then I was like, "Whoa, you saying this podcast is purgatory? I'll see how it is."
Oh, no, this earthly existence mostly.
Someone just sent me a link to a video called "The End of Ninja," so I think we can all sleep well and be more present in the moment now. The evil has been defeated.
Oh my God. They're still Nazis, Jessica. You do realize that, right?
Oh my god.
They're still Nazis. Our
That's
job
true.
is not done. Okay, I just wanted you to know. But
Yeah, true. I'm sorry.
it's okay. So I would say, other than yoga, I do occasionally, I wouldn't say that what I listen to at night is mindful meditation or guided meditation. I listen to ASMR. And that does put me in like a mindfulness moment because it's all about like being present. Okay, I'm being real with y'all, okay? All right. Do you listen to any ASMR?
I really don't.
You don't have to, okay, good. All right, Jess, do you listen?
I don't either.
Okay, cool. Only person here. That's fine.
It weirds me out.
Oh, okay, cool.
I used to wonder why I didn't like ASMR, and then it clicked.
You,
Oh, dang.
you, It still, the joke hasn't clicked with me yet. Am I supposed to?
So, like, you know, like when you're ASMRing and you're clicking and you're grunting and stuff, but also, and then it clicked is a phrase.
Excuse me, did you just say grunting?
Is there grunting?
I have
I've
literally
seen,
never
like, ASMR
grunted.
videos.
I should also
literally-
mention
They're
ASMR
like
is.
eating.
I
They're
don't.
like eating and doing stuff, and then they're like,
Is the M for metal? Like,
Oh my god.
Layer does ASMR.
Oh
Like
my
that's yeah.
So I just wanted to
I've
say,
got like
I don't experience ASMR just through videos. I do want to say that. I experience it when I hear the rain outside or any sort of storm. I also experience it when I get my hair done and when the person is like massaging my scalp and cutting my hair because I'm being pampered. Anytime I get a massage, I experience ASMR. And the reason why for me, it's kind of like mindful meditation is I watch not disgusting, I'm sorry, I shouldn't shame anyone, not extremely disgusting mouth videos. Y'all, I'm just kidding. You're not sick, but it's weird that you like to watch someone eat food and then chew loudly in your ear. Something is wrong with you. Or you're
Also,
sexualizing it
kids
and it's
doing ASMR is
not
weird.
okay. Oh my God. I don't think... we gonna have to keep that for a whole nother episode. I could go on a huge tirade about how children should not be in things outside of like movies. I don't think outside of movies and TV shows, kids should not be recorded. I don't think there should be amateur videos or
even your own children. Just keep that.
like home videos are fine, right?
Yeah.
But not if you're using them to create profit. Like, no, that's not okay. And not for everyone on the
agree with
entire
that.
earth to see. So, but what I was going to say about the ASMR.
I mean, you gotta pay for their college funds somehow. My little Shirley Temple. Let's go. Like
what ASMR does for me is it puts me in this space where I don't have to worry about anything and I just listen to that other person talk. And so their role play videos.
There's no content.
There's
Yeah,
no content.
that's my
There's
problem.
no intellectual content.
Well, sometimes
So you don't have to process any of that.
Sometimes there's intellectual content for ASMR videos. There's this one woman, Angelica, that does ASMR, and she will pretend to be a goddess from Greek mythology or from Roman mythology, and she'll actually go through the goddesses. Like she'll just sit there and she'll still be doing something, but she'll have a conversation with you. It's a one-sided conversation, obviously, but she'll talk about how how the goddess has gone through life and like all the fables regarding that goddess. But it's like she's teaching you, and those are actually a very popular ASMR role play where you're just like, there's a person that's a teacher and they're just telling you things and you're just like, you're just taking in that information, but you don't have to worry. There's not going to be a test. You don't have to have any of the anxieties that actually come with school. You just get to hear like some dope stories. And it's like, hell yeah, that reminds me of when my great grandmother used to read bedtime stories to me. And it makes me feel real good. And so then I just pass the fuck out. That's what happens. But I'm very much in the present
That's cool.
moment, just listening to that person and then falling asleep. So pretty cool. Jess, I think you'd like her videos.
I tend to have a similar.
I don't know about that.
She did one where she pretends to be a psychologist and you're Ted Bundy. Oh my God. And then
like I don't know. I'm not like super into listening to people role play to begin with. It never really like
Jessica,
I mean,
you need to
unless
be more
it's, like,
adventurous.
straight acting.
In bed and out of bed.
Let's not talk about our sex life on here. Okay?
First of all, I was just talking about going to sleep.
you know I'm trying to do the best
What
right by you, baby.
a perv. What a perv.
I am trying to like I will if you send me one I will watch it.
Okay.
Because I always like if people send me stuff I will watch it. But typically just judging from my previous experience with the types of stuff and that description I'm gonna probably make a guesstimate that that's a no. That's a no for me, Doc.
But yeah, those
I
are
think it's great though that you found something
yeah.
that would help you unplug,
Yeah.
and kind of detach from your thoughts at night. Everybody should have that because, it's like I've said, like the thing that kept me from, really getting into a mindful life was thinking I had to actively meditate during the
Right.
day. And
Yeah.
it usually what it is I strap on headphones to go to bed, and I put on some ambient music because I'm a big fan of really super chill music, and I turn it down to a super low volume, and that pretty much does the trick to get me to totally detach and get into a mindful space if I'm having trouble with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I guess the closest thing to, I don't really know if it would be considered ASMR or not, but I like at night I typically have to have a fan on, even if it's like 3 degrees, because I need that white noise.
Yeah,
But I can't like do white noise machines or anything like that.
Well, it's probably also the sensation of
And
the
it's oddly
fan.
soothing.
It's probably like the air circulation.
I don't
well
have it touch
like...
me.
You don't have it touch you? No.
It just like points at the wall.
Oh, interesting. That's really interesting, Jessica. You just have a fan facing a wall, so when people walk into your apartment, they're like, cool, totally not a serial killer.
They're like, this lady.
Oh, that's...
I'm too... So I don't think anyone ever thinks I'm a serial killer.
I don't think
I've never been described as like super quiet. They're always like, oh, they were so quiet.
Wait,
I just
serial
never would have
killers
guessed
are not
this.
normally quiet. Are they?
Some of them are, yeah. Like you always hear, like, oh, I just never would have thought they would have done this. They were just so charming and quiet and nice. And like,
I don't think of charming and nice as a quiet person, but I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, you can be more about.
Now
that. I mean,
I'm thinking of a really polite Jeffrey Dahmer. A really polite Jeffrey Dahmer. Like Jeffrey Dahmer, when he eats the people, it's just like, always use the correct fork and knife when eating someone. And it's just like, okay, all right, I got you, Jeff.
This is like a whole nother thing. This is a whole nother thing. Because like Jeffrey Dahmer was really bombastic in high school, but then like when he was an adult, he was more... And just like, oh, he was quiet. Like he didn't really talk to his neighbors. His one neighbor like helped him clean his house, but that was all. Murdery. You know, like you switch. You just turn the switch. You're like...
I would say that I was definitely like...
you can't really be going out to like a book club as a serial killer. Like...
Yes, you can.
Night.
Watch. I'm going to go join a book club and then I'm going to murder someone. I'm just kidding. I would not do that. That's too much effort. That's far too much effort for my... I don't have that
takes a lot.
drive to want to kill someone. I mean, there's some people...
You've also got to clean them up.
Yeah, you have to clean... Unless you Dexter that. But then still you got to take all that saran wrap. And that's not saran wrap, blossoming sun. Whatever the plastic things
It's like plastic tarps.
Yeah,
because if it was saran wrap, that's even worse. I can barely wrap a sandwich. I'm going to wrap some limbs. Like, no.
Yep, no. No. But
I'm
anyways,
going to have to use their hand to help me.
Besides murder, is there anything else that you struggle with, just like mindfulness?
Besides murder.
Besides
my whole life. Does that count? Money, friendship, waking up in the morning.
I don't think you struggle with friendship. I don't think you struggle with friendship. I think
in some areas.
I think some of your
most
friends.
Of my friends are very far away.
Well, yeah.
Struggle with friendship. Put the blame on other people.
That's not a good idea.
I struggle with.
Oh,
apparently.
Wait. You put blame on other people?
No, I was saying you were saying like I think your friends struggle with friendship. So I was like,
yes,
that's my problem. I need to put the blame on other people.
Oh no. I think it's how do I put this in a nice way? There's not a nice way to put it, so I'm not going to say it because that's what I was taught by my mama. I didn't want to say something.
By my dad.
I didn't want someone to. I didn't want to say something.
Funny.
And then, but is it funny? And then like someone listens to the podcast and they're like, "Is that bitch talking about me?" Yes, yes, I am talking about you. Yeah, 100%.
Do you have any like I don't know. I think there are a lot of areas in my life that I can improve, which I'm hoping that I will. Like that's part of the reason I wanted to do more mindfulness stuff was because there's a lot of stuff I'm unhappy with. But I think I need to try to be more present and focus on the things that are good in my life because I do have a lot of good things. Mm-hmm. But it's like there's also stuff that it's like, well, this isn't where I thought I was going to be. Like,
right.
You know, or if this didn't work out the way that I thought. But that's also what I was kind of wanting to do. But yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff I struggle with. I have really bad anxiety. Like,
I think mindfulness
loops into like depression
once
all the time.
I always feel like everyone is just a case by case. Like I always now in this day and age, there's like for me, I don't blanket statement anything anymore. It's like everyone is a case by case basis. And I think mindfulness is one of those things where you have to find the tools that best help you. Because like B was saying, that thinking it was active mindfulness rather than just taking the small moments in the day when you can, I think that's B's tool. Like being able to do that, that's what's convenient. And then you just got to find your thing, which could be role play ASMR. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
I'm just I actually really like the books that I've been reading and stuff. I really have enjoyed the idea of more facing your fears.
Yeah.
Like, and it can come in different things. There's like in the Shodron book. It's one of those things
Did
where
you
she
say
talks about this one.
Shodron? Marie whatever.
Chodron. I'm butchering.
No,
the name,
it's fine.
but
I also
they're
would do
Buddhist.
a bad job.
No, I think you got it.
Yeah. I agree with B.
So it's one of those things. She talks at one point about the fact that she's telling the story that she overheard about a guy that's basically walking down the street and he's with a couple people, and these vicious dogs end up running towards them, and he turns around and he basically kind of stands his ground while everybody else kind of rushes away from the dog. And so the dog just stops, and he was basically like, you're going to end up getting something, whether it's a vicious guard dog or a poodle.
Yeah.
Whatever is, you have to kind of stand your ground and deal with it. And that's what I'm trying to do more.
That is beautiful. That is totally on point.
That's dope.
So like, and it varies from day to day.
Yeah,
But like recently it was like, I am terrified to go to the grocery store today. But it was like, I went to the grocery store and I was like, I'm just going to think about the fact I can leave if I need to, but I'm just going to try to stay present and keep doing this stuff, like, and not be worried about the people that are surrounding me. And
you guys want to know something else regarding my planner and also regarding grocery stores? Bitch. Okay, so
is it your food planning? Is it your meal planning type stuff?
I fucking love meal plans. Yes, Jessica. That is in fact what I was going to refer to, my meal plans. I am like really passionate about meal planning. I don't think you understand. I used to waste so much money because so much of my food would go bad. Like, I used to be an absolute idiot because your girl doesn't usually buy. I have this really weird thing from my grandparents when I used to stay with them during the summer. They had terrible taste in food because they're white people. They're old Southern white people. So they have terrible taste in food. And my grandmother is notoriously known for only eating frozen lean cuisine that she pops in the microwave. She does not know how to cook anything.
Oh, my word.
Oh, it is so bad. She doesn't know how to cook anything except for like traditional Thanksgiving food. And she only knows how to make like sweet potatoes with marshmallows on top and like macaroni and cheese. She does not make anything else other than those two dishes. And so I don't like frozen food. I don't like it. I remember having to eat it sometimes at their house, and I loved hanging out with them. But oh my God, that is the most disgusting shit I've ever had. I didn't get Totino's fucking little bagels in the morning, bagels in the evening, bagels at supper time. Those look delicious. I got fucking lean cuisine. Pizza bagels can be eaten anytime, but I have not had those. So what I like to do for meal plans, because for the longest time I would just be like, okay, maybe I can just mentally think through this and walk through the grocery store up and down every aisle and just, okay, there's 7 days of the week. My lunches are covered because I went to work, and so we would usually go out to lunch like down the road or something. But there's 7 dinners and then maybe snacks, right? So I would say, okay, I need 7 sides and 7 meats, because that's how my parents used to cook food. And I would end up just buying way too much of everything and not wanting to freeze anything. And then like half of our food would go rotten before the end of the month, or end of the week. And then I'd have to go back again. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? I'm getting stressed out going to the goddamn grocery store. And Jessica, you shouldn't get stressed out going to the grocery store. What you should do is just before you go, in the safety and comfort of your home, write down what you want to make that week. Give yourself some easy shit to make when you're going to be tired. And then give yourself a little bit of a challenge so you can try something new. And
that's what I do.
That's what I do. But I just learned that shit and I'm 30 years old. That took me a long fucking time.
Typically, like, figure out what we're missing and then what we need. Like, it's mostly basic stuff.
And now I'm one of those fucking...
Cooking is so mindful.
Cooking is I enjoy cooking so much. Oh my God. I love it. I love making delicious shit and then like eating it and be like, yeah, bitch, you made this. It's just like very empowering.
The reason it's... Yeah. I mean, I think the reason it's mindful is that what is more important than feeding yourself and doing it in a healthy way? Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody thinks like they've got all these priorities. I guarantee you, almost none of them is more important than your health and how you eat.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. Which is why I eat so much pizza. It's the whole food pyramid.
Just when you learned that I don't like pizza, were you upset?
No, you're your own person. I was just like, well, that sucks. We can't eat pizza together, but that's okay because I can just order a pizza and eat it myself. Like, it's like,
thank you.
Onions.
I'll order wings.
This bitch gets more onions. Like that's like the olives at the dinner. It's like I like olives.
Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed.
I eat like 2
now
olives.
That you mentioned olives.
You eat the rest of them. How that works.
I love, and when you say the rest of them, you mean like 35 of them. You have 2, I have 35. I just love olives, okay? All right? I just eat them like a little goblin, like an olive goblin, and I just like hunch over them.
Olive Goblin sounds like the worst Olive Garden knockoff ever. Goblin, your family.
When you're a goblin, you're here. Oh, that's so terrible. I'm crying.
Look at our Demonday special.
It's all you can eat olives today.
Guys, it's more olives. Like I did.
My wife's nightmare. She's not a fan.
No, I would never go to Olive Garden. Oh,
so be like I don't like olives that much, but Kalamata olives. Does the Mrs. B like anything salty?
She likes salty, but I think it's the flavor of olives.
Never mind.
I love black olives, but that's about all.
If you like black olives, try Kalamata olives.
Kalamata olives are fine.
Okay.
Did you just say cocaine?
Yeah, like get some cheese, some Kalamata olives, and have yourself an evening with some red wine, and then you can thank me later.
Oh, bitch, that does sound good. Hell yeah.
Very nice.
Like, some pita bread, toasted pita bread. It sounds like it's also good with them if you want to like.
Yeah.
Bread.
I feel like
I'm there.
Hell yeah.
Like spiritually there.
But yeah. All right.
Like literally, I have a problem.
I have nothing else to add to the mindful conversation, and we've devolved into Olive Goblin. Now I'm gonna say Olive Goblin. I cannot not say Olive Garden the first time. I have to. I don't know why.
Our job is done.
Oh,
never be mindful of that mistake. Please always call it Olive Goblin.
You almost did it. You were like Olive Garden. It's because you can't not do it. It's terrible. It's America. That's what it's created.
Well, this was really good. B, do you want to plug anything? I know you're not like doing as many streams, but
I'm working on something, and it's probably going to be a podcast, but I don't want to say much about it. It's pretty early.
Yeah.
So just anyone interested, I'll post it on Twitter once I get there.
We're happy to be on your podcast.
Yes.
I'm volunteering Jess for that.
You can pick whatever topic you want, and I like just ASMR olives. That's.
Jess, don't take my material, okay? That's pretty much all I can talk about are olives.
That's all of what you can say.
My God. Oh.
B.Leaguer on Twitter is at B.Leaguer.
Can you spell that for me, Jessica?
Yeah. B_Leaguer_.
And it's B
his own person.
_.
I had to like.
It
B,
is
I'm gonna
on
now
the
spell
screen.
your name.
No, but also
For everyone.
if you're listening to this audio wise, it's B_league with an R at the end and then another underscore. LEAGUER. So there you go.
Yeah, and I'll also include the links in the YouTube video.
Look
so
at you,
can
Jess.
check that out below.
You're always so fantastic. Well, thank you, B,
Go
for
and follow him, and
being
then
here. We appreciate you being our
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me.
esteemed
Thanks
guest.
for
It's so fun.
Our first esteemed guest.
best.
You guys are amazing. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you.
No, you're amazing.
Can we
By
not
being
have
here.
like a compliment off right now? I have somewhere to be.
Well,
Okay.
you're certainly killing it. Not getting any compliments from me. All right then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.